Okay, so when I get a new unit, I'd like to update anything I can on it, like the BIOS, firmware, Windows drivers, whatever it might be. And the other day I was wanting to update the Intel Management Engine firmware. Intel Management Engine is used a lot of ways where you can do things like turn the unit on when it's off. I believe it interfaces with the whole vPro type stuff, but I wanted to get the firmware updated. So I went on to the HP support site, looked at my unit. I found under this section for firmware that there was this Intel Management Engine firmware, upgrader. Did a download. And when you run this, it will actually extract into a folder off your C drive called SW Setup. This particular one, the service pack was this 151046. I then opened up a command prompt as admin, went to that folder, did a dir just to see what was available to run, and I see something called install. So I naturally said, well, that kind of makes sense. I'll go ahead and type install. Whoa, wait a minute. It just bombed right away with this error saying that WMIC is not recognized as an internal external command. And I actually went so far as to look in the code for that batch file. And right away at the top, it calls this WMIC. And basically what it's doing, WMIC is Windows Management Instrumentation, and then the C is for command line. Essentially, it allows you to get information about your machine or to set certain things on your machine. There's a whole slew of stuff that it can do. But this command line is kind of nifty, and HP seems to really like using it in their batch files. And in this particular case, it looks like it's trying to figure out whether or not or what kind of OS is on there. Is it a 32-bit or a 64? And then based on that, it can know which folder to go and pull the stuff out of, either the FW32 or the FW64. It's possible that even these two might also do some stuff with WMIC too, but in either case, it wasn't running. It just stopped right away. And I'm thinking, well, why would that be? And I know that this has come up prior, and I thought it was because the various installers and so forth were too old, and maybe that I was running it under Windows 10 or 11, and maybe it was used to running under 7 or 8. But that's not necessarily the case. The case or the issue is that Windows 11 no longer has this WMIC. And Microsoft themselves has basically deprecated it. You can get it in Windows 10, but not in Windows 11 because they want you to use PowerShell to do all these things. And well, that's all fine and dandy if you're designing your own stuff, but if you're using stuff that's coming from HP, especially as we're using these older units that were designed for older software, but we still want to update them and we still want to get all the latest stuff, we kind of need that component. So I said, well, is there a way to get this WMIC or WMIC, I know you might pronounce it WMIC or WMIC, onto Windows 11? And there actually is, and that's what I wanted to show today, and also then show what it looks like once you get it installed. So what we're going to do is right-click on the Windows icon here, go to System, and then up here where it says Find a Setting, type in Optional. Optional Features, go to View Features. Then we want to click on See Available Features. And now from here, type in WMIC. Click the check mark and click on Add. Now, when I did this on another machine, it seemed to take literally hours for it to do this. So we'll see. We'll come back to this, and I'm going to keep track so that I can let you know how long this actually takes. Well, that wasn't as bad as the other one, or I should say the other time I did it. It took maybe 15 minutes for it to be added. But just be patient, and who knows, it may have also been because I had other updates going on at the same time, but at least it's added. So we can close out of here, close everything down. And now, if we run that install, let's see what happens. Now it's actually running. It's going through. It sees it saw the WMIC, and it can actually run this firmware upgrade on the unit. So I think it's worth it, particularly as people are going to be leaving Windows 10 to go to Windows 11, especially with the end of support for Windows 10. But they're going to need to be able to run these older updaters. And I know myself, like I said before, I thought that they just weren't going to work because they were old. Compatibility, maybe there was some DLL or other kinds of stuff that was missing, but it was just purely the fact that I was on Windows 11 and that WMIC was missing. Let me know if you found other kinds of things like this that don't exist in Windows 11, that maybe you needed to install some additional stuff. So looks like it did its update, and I guess it's probably I need to reboot. So